Hey everybody, it's Prince's friend, and it is the last Thursday of the month, which means I am here and I am going to be doing a live stream. So, yay! I'm super excited about doing this, and then of course I started it without actually getting my headphones in. So let me do that so that I don't create some sort of weird echo situation that I always hate when that happens. All right, awesome. Well, I do have the chat open, so if anybody ends up with any questions or anything, do let me know. Otherwise, I will say just a few other things. I actually ended up getting some tickets to the For You symphonic concert that's going to be coming through. It's actually coming to Tampa, which I was very excited about. And it's going to be over here at the Sun Dome. And I've tried to contact the Paisley and a couple other people, and I'm seeing if I can put some feelers out to see if I might be able to get some press badge situation. I'd love to go out and maybe cover some of it, especially since it's in like my backyard. Like it seems silly if I don't, you know. So I'm really excited about that. Also, it turns out that my birthday weekend, Janelle Monáe is actually going to be coming here, and she's coming to St. Pete, which is close by, but not quite right here. But I get to go see Janelle Monáe, which should be really fun. Hi, Bubby. What's that? Oh, okay. That's just my son. Sorry, everybody. He's very cute, and he likes to interrupt things when I do them. So the Janelle Monáe show, me and my wife are going to go, as well as a couple of my other friends. I also contacted them to see if I might be able to get something. You know, I'm thinking, you know, I'm hot shit now. I can get a press pass one of these days. Everybody keeps saying no or not getting me anything, so we'll see what happens. So no, I am super excited about both of those concerts, as well as the time is coming through in October, and I'm also trying to contact them to see if I might be able to get a some sort of something there. I'm gonna end up going to see the time too. So it looks like I have a lot of concerts just here that are going to be really, really fun that I'm going to try and cover. And I know I posted the video, which was the hey, this is why I'm not going to the memorial bench thing in Minneapolis. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed that I wasn't going to be going to that, and obviously disappointed with the way that all that went down. If you didn't see the video, you should go check it out. And there's more to that, but I'm not going to go into it. But needless to say, not everybody was happy with the video that I made, and it created some additional drama from that side of the exchange. So, but you know, the cool thing is basically what I've learned from a lot of people is that I was not the outlier. It was not just me. That guy was a jerk to everybody. So, but what I did find though as well was that there's actually going to be a celebratory Prince party here in Tampa, which I was actually pretty surprised by. But yeah, it's going to be here in Tampa, and it's actually being thrown by a couple of friends of mine who I sometimes get together with and critique albums. If anybody remembers that, one of my very first videos that I posted was the album where the listening party for Purple Rain that I did with me, a bunch of people. So there was actually that group of people are going to be throwing the party. And, you know, I think there's going to, and it's not going to be a huge party. I think there's going to end up being like, I don't know, 25, 30 people there. So it's not going to be huge. And they did not ask me to curate the album and the song list and the playlist and stuff. So I'm a little worried about that. because I want to make sure that these people's, you know, if we're going to celebrate Prince, we got to celebrate, you know, Prince and do it upright. So that's, you know, that's my thought on it anyway. So those are some of the things that are going on right now with me. I did actually miss videos last week. I put a couple up this week, but I missed videos entirely last week. And that's because my day job, of course, everybody knows that I'm a writer. I'm actually, I'm up against some deadlines. So there was a little bit of an issue last week, but I got a couple of videos out this week, and I have a couple of videos and as well as a review coming up for next week. So I'm pretty excited about that. Just so I don't fall behind on the chat, there is a couple of questions here. Are you excited for the new Prince release in September? Yeah. Of course I am. You know, as soon as they announced that there was going to be another album in September of unreleased Prince music, I was pretty excited about that. Of course, there's no more information except just that it's going to be out in September. So I'm hoping that they maybe will give us just a little bit more info soon, so that we can kind of, you know, kind of be more hyped, because I think that as soon as we are able to know what era the album will be from, that will make some people super happy and others, you know, not so happy. For instance, I know a lot of people were amazingly just super duper the happiest people in the world when they heard that they were doing a Purple Rain Deluxe with a bunch of Purple Rain Deluxe stuff. And I was like, yay, that sounds good. I'll listen to it. But when Deliverance came out from 2006, I was like, oh, that's my jam right there. You know, so it's like everybody has their own, you know, genre and whatnot. So, but I'm excited to see where it's going to come. I'm hoping that it comes from a different era that we haven't seen explored all that much. I know a lot of people are like, you know, well, I hope that it comes out in from the stuff from the 90s. And I'm like, but guess what? All the stuff from the 90s is on Crystal Ball and Emancipation. Like, those two albums are just full of his stuff from the 90s. Like, that's what it is. And no, my sound did not go out, but my sons were having an argument, and I had to settle that. I try to put these before, or actually I try to put these Q&As after my son goes to sleep. However, because he's getting older, he's been staying up more, and it's really annoying. And I'm not the kind of parent that will like give my son Benadryl. So go to sleep, you know. Anyway, I don't do that. Would you want to see a Camille album officially released? I would say no. There's not really a reason for it. All of the Camille's tracks were split up between on basically Sign of the Times. There were a few others that ended up on the B-sides, a few others that ended up on Crystal Ball, and there's only one song from the Camille album that we have not had officially released, and I think that was, what was it called? Something of the Flesh that I can't remember. Sacrifice of the Flesh or something like that. So so there's really only one song that hasn't been released from the Camille album. Funny thing about Camille, which I actually thought was interesting, was that this is my son, and I love him so much. And he wants peanut butter. So the funny thing about Camille was that I was watching a video, and it was a panel that Quincy Jones was on, and he was talking about how Prince used to call Michael Camille. And that was kind of interesting, because it almost, from the way he didn't say that this was the thing, but it was, you know, mid 80s. And that's when Prince started calling Michael Jackson Camille. And it almost made me think that, like, oh my gosh, was Camille Prince's impression of Michael Possibly. I don't know, but I thought that that was very interesting, and I'm going to try to do a little bit more research on that because I found that super duper interesting. So Kana says, did I know that Larry Graham was Drake's uncle? No, I did not know that. Do I encourage younger people to listen to Prince? Of course. I think everybody should listen to Prince. I tell my daughter all the time about Prince, and I try to, because my oldest son is not interested, but my daughter is at least a music appreciator. So I do play a lot of Prince. Like I listen almost exclusively for about the last 6 months. I've listened almost exclusively to Prince, even though like the new Seven Dust came out and that was really good. Obviously the new Janelle Monáe came out. I've been pumping that one a little bit. But you know, for the most part, I end up listening to mostly Prince, and my daughter can appreciate that. And she actually said that she would come on, and I was going to have this summer, because when she's done with her school, she's got one last week of school. But as soon as that's done, then I'm going to end up having her on, and we're going to have like a fun conversation, and I'm going to ask her a bunch of questions about what she likes about Prince and stuff like that. So she's willing to come on. So I think that'll be fun. It'll be fun, me and her kind of going back and forth about that. So anyway, so yes, everybody should listen to Prince, not just young people or old people or whatever, because Prince's music is timeless and it's amazing. Let's see. You can't stop listening to Love Sexy, Blakely. Yes, I know. Love Sexy is amazing. So everybody should be listening to Love Sexy. It's one of the best albums ever from Prince. And that was the room, the Love Sexy room, when I went to Paisley, that I ended up crying in. It was very moving. Do I think that the new album, they will do a hologram tour? I think personally Prince would be against it. Well, we know for a fact Prince would be against it because he was against it vocally and had a whole interview where he talked about it. And I also do not think that they will do that because the Prince community raised a fuss when there was just a hint that they might do it at the Super Bowl, and they cooled their jets on that. So I don't think that they're going to risk that again. So definitely not a hologram tour. Possibly a tour with the Funk Soldiers. Like that would be cool. Shelby J, hook me up, call me up. I'm here for you. I want to talk to you. So there you go. Do I like the song Breakdown from Artificial Age? Yes, and on Arsenio, Prince said that it was his favorite song. But of course, Prince's answer to that question of what is his favorite song is usually what's his latest song, because that's his favorite. And I'm a writer, so I know like usually like the last thing I wrote is usually ends up being like my favorite thing that I wrote. But yeah, so Breakdown is a great song. I don't think it's the best song on there. I think that album has a lot of amazing tracks. Rebirth of the Flesh. Thank you so much. I knew it was something of the flesh. But yeah, so I was, but I've been asked recently, like, what's my favorite album and stuff. And like my answer had always been the Gold Experience for a long time. And I'm actually working on the Gold Experience review, which should be coming out soon. But even going through it, I'm like, I think Artificial Age is actually my favorite album. But you know what? Hit and Run Phase 2 is really growing on me, which is so funny because at first I didn't really like it because it wasn't as like modern or, produced the same way as Phase 1. But Phase 2 is it's just so good. I'm going to do a whole video. There's just one song in Phase 2 that really seals the deal for me. And I'm going to do a whole video on why that song, I think, is kind of Prince perfection. There's a song on there. And if anybody wants to try and guess what song on Hit and Run Phase 2 is pretty much a perfect Prince song, I want to see your guesses in here. And if anybody guesses right, I don't know, you get a cookie. I don't have any prizes to give away, but I just would be interested to see if anybody can guess it. So anyway, so there's that. Hey Cassandra, yes, I will definitely be at Celebration 2018. I'm waiting for when I was talking to people who had gone to the 2017 Celebration, they said that a couple of months after it ended, they sent out invites that you could prepay like part of it, like put a deposit down on a ticket. So I'm waiting for that because I definitely will do that because I had a lot of fun and I can definitely go for cheaper this time around, because now I have friends, and you know, I have somebody I can stay with, and I don't have to pay for an Uber because he'll drive me around because he's a nice guy. And so thank you, Blake. I don't know what this hand sign was. I was gonna do like a West Side thing, but I don't think Minneapolis is West Side. Let's let's see. Prince is lucky to have such a devoted plus loyal friend. I am sure that he would really appreciate your devotion to him and his music. I mean, I would hope so. You know, it's interesting. It's because like even if Prince, you know, will never have the opportunity to appreciate the things that you know, I do it not just for him. I do it because of the music, and I do it because of the way, like a lot of what it ends up coming from Prince is like, it's not just Prince, it's how Prince's music and his message and who he was made me feel about myself. And that's really why I do this, because Prince is such a foundational influence on just kind of the person that I grew up to be. So there you go. And I will say it here, and I've said it several times before, but Prince is the modern day Confucius. And if you don't know anything about Confucius, look him up. He was a dude who actually practiced Taoism. But he was a Chinese philosopher, and he had a whole bunch of students, and those students took his lessons and spread them all around the world. And it became a religion, but he wasn't trying to make a religion, but it became one. He didn't say, you know, I'm the prophet and I'm doing all this crazy stuff. Like, no, he believed in a whole other, you know, Taoist religion. But guess what? He preached what it meant to be a person here on this earth right now, and the things that you need to do to be a good person. And that is kind of what I got from Prince, from my upbringing and whatnot. So anyway, so I do also want to apologize. This live stream is slightly earlier than I normally do, and it's because my wife is coming home early. So I was trying to fit it in before before she got home. It's so funny the way that these things work out. So anyway, let's see. So, hey, I heard now it's just the book in September, but Jay-Z thing with new album next year on Tidal for only 14 days. So, My Beretta 2002, if you can give me information on that, it should not be a book in September. It actually should be the book in Christmas time, album September, the Jay-Z album for next year. Yes, Tidal will only have it for 14 days, but then it will go over to the estate and for regular distribution and stuff after that. I actually covered it on a whole video, so if anybody wants to check out that video, I think it was about 2 weeks ago I posted that video. So there you go. Yes, peace, love. You are not the only one with babies in the background. I wish you were the only one with babies in the background, but my kids are crazy. And yes, Rebirth of the Flesh is on YouTube, but we were talking about official releases. So it's the only song that has not been officially released. So let's see. Have I heard any more news about the new album? No, neither of the new albums. But I'm really hoping, I've heard a lot of rumors that the one from Tidal next year will end up being Hit and Run Phase 3. So if that's the case, I can't wait, because that would mean that that was Prince's latest music before he died. If it is not, I'll still be happy with it because it's music and it's Prince. So there you go. But it would be awesome if it was Hit and Run Phase 3. So let's see. If I ever had the chance to see Prince up close and personal, what would I have said? I don't even know what I have said. I think I might have passed out. I don't even know what I would do. I'm not really one of those people to really get awestruck by anybody, but I think for him I would. So I don't even know. I really don't know. So let's see. How many kids do I have? 3. There you go. That was an easy one. Give me some harder questions. I don't even have to think about that one. That's just, I can just look in my other room and be like, there's 3 of them. Let's see. If there was a mash, if you had to mash another Prince song up with cream, what would it be? No, I can't think of. Yeah, I'm not even really sure what I would match up with cream. I'd have to really think about that. Probably something in the water. That seems like that would be interesting. Oh yeah, yeah, something in the water. Either something in yeah. I think that's gonna be my answer. That's my official answer. And yes, Love Sexy is amazing. I'm just keep repeating it. It's really awesome. Um, what do you think would Prince have done with his music if he would have lived? He kept really in what he does. Like he releases his music. Like I can't wait until I'm almost there to 2004 because 2004 was when he released like 3 albums and a movie soundtrack and all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited about that. Um, I wonder what an Emancipation Deluxe remaster would be like. Me too, but I don't think it would ever happen. They're sticking so close to the Warner Brother years right now, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that. So I'm really hoping that they're able to sign new deals to get the later albums released so that everybody can really start knowing who Prince was, because you can't just know Prince from his earlier stuff, and you have to know him after he started rebelling against the music industry and after he actually took up the whole, real music by real musicians. Like that was such a huge deal. And not know that music except for the song musicology, and like that's it. That's really kind of sucky. So let's see. What is my least favorite thing about Under the Cherry Moon? I think probably, and I hate to say this, but I don't. I think that the album, like the movie's good. Like I actually really like the movie. But I feel like the album that came along with it was like it wasn't like it was some of the music, but not all of the music. So I really feel like they could have done more for the sound for Parade. Basically they could have put more of the tracks on there. They could have put Jill Jones's track on there where a lot of the violins from Mary's Birthday Party were taken from. They could have put Love or Money on there. They could have put the extended version of Kiss on there, just stuff like that. I think that they could have done much more with that, because I think to date, taking in account the number of songs on that album, Parade is Prince's shortest album. I think it's like 30 minutes, maybe 29, something like that. So it's his shortest album, and I really think that there was a lot of room to do something with that. Kena, good guess. Groovy Potential is amazing, but it's not the song that I was thinking of. Let's see, Sign of the Times, top album. In context, it was amazing what he did on that album. I think Sign of the Times was very good, but I think Love Sexy was even better. I mean, that's kind of the thing about Prince, is that he always got better, and he was always innovating and always changing and always doing new things. So there's that. Let me see. Stare. Oh, that's a good guess. That's a really good guess. Let me see. Let me see if there's any other guesses here before I tell. Groovy Potential. Look at Me, Look at You. That's the really good ones. Really, really good guesses. The answer is Stare, actually. Yes, Stare is the perfect Prince song. And I'm going to do a whole video and I'm going to break it down into exactly why it is, because it just is. I've been listening to just that track over and over and over and over again, because it is just so good, like on every level. So there's that. Yay. Good guesses, guys. I'm glad people were able to guess it. Let's see. When will songs come out of the vault? We're going to get some in September and then some next year. So there's that. Hey, Henry. Let's see. What album do I think is Prince's best work? I did answer that earlier. I think it's for right now. I think it's Artificial Age. Artificial Age was really, really, really good. Let's see. DJ Gary says, I thought the material was post 1996 for the title release. They haven't said anything. If you have more information on that, please do let me know. But I have not. All I know is that there will be a title release next year. They haven't said anything about what it will be. And it would seem weird if they were to say something about what it will be in next year before they talk about the one in September. So I don't think that they're going to do that. Let's see. Does Larry Graham still live next door to Paisley Park? I don't think he ever lived next door, but he lived right, like nearby. And from what I've heard, he does still live very nearby. How about the unreleased music during the Revolution era? I mean, wasn't that what Purple Rain Deluxe, like that was a lot of that stuff. I mean, it wasn't all of it, but it was a lot of it, right? So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So let's see. I can't stop listening to 3121. Yes, the dance. And the cool thing about the dance is that there's two versions of the dance. And when I get around there, I'm going to end up doing a versus video of the dance versus the dance. That's my plan. But I have to get there first. I'm mid 90s right now, and that is mid 2000s. So I have 10 years of albums to get through before I get to that. So let's see. How do I feel about the newest version of Nothing Compares to You? Well, my feedback on that would be it's not the newest version. It was actually arguably the first version. There was an interview actually at Celebration where St. Paul said when he was listening to it, is the track that he sent to St. Paul for St. Paul to sing it for the family's album. So that was St. Paul just kind of hearing his demo again, and it was kind of creepy, he said to him. So but I think that it's a really good version of the song. It's never technically really been my very favorite Prince song. And still to this day, I think that Rosie Gaines, the one with him and Rosie Gaines, I think she really added a lot to that song in terms of like attitude and her voice and everything. And I think that her involvement on the one that's on the greatest hits, the hits and B-sides, I think that it was really, really awesome. So let's see. Do you think it was Prince's biggest career mistake not touring the US with Sign of the Times? No. The thing about Prince was he went where the fans were, and that's kind of sad to say, but like America didn't treat Prince with the reverence that I believe that he deserved. We said, ew, like we just want Purple Rain. And honestly, it's still going on to this day. Americans just want Purple Rain. If you go to other countries, the other countries all appreciated his entire body of work, and Americans want Purple Rain. And that is the sad part about living here in the United States, is that being a Prince fan means you are subjected to a lot of the same music from the same era, from the same album. And he was so much more than that. And he went way beyond Purple Rain, and most of his stuff is way better than Purple Rain. Purple Rain is attached to a lot of people's nostalgia, but many of his albums are way better than Purple Rain that came out after that. So there you go. Let's see. Great interviews, by the way. Thank you. It was actually really awesome to be able to interview those people. And I know that I got them out right after, I believe, the last Q&A. So I was able to kind of finally get them out. But I got to interview Jelly Bean Johnson of The Time and the Jelly Bean Johnson Experience and the family. I also got to interview Gail Chapman and a local artist named Gigi Fingerhut of Minneapolis, and then as well as Terry Jackson, who was an original member of Grand Central. So if you have not seen any of those interviews, go to the interview section of the channel and you can check that stuff out, because you definitely want to look at those videos. They were a lot of fun. So and they'll be up forever for posterity. I actually think that the really coolest thing about the interviews that I did was that Gail Chapman jumped on there and was chatting with people in the comments, and I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. Like, it's one thing to like interview them, and it's just like, thank you for the interview, and I'll let you know when it's up, and I did that with everybody. But you know, like, Gail came and started interacting with you guys and started talking with people, and I think that was really awesome. And Gigi Fingerhut, the artist, she's on my Facebook a lot, so she posts stuff on there. So I like to see that people are seeing this community that we've built here together as a viable place to come and start talking about things and start interacting with people who care about Prince's legacy. So yeah, so there you go. And you know, the thing too, I think what I tried to do with the interviews was I really tried to I don't know, care about the people who I was interviewing, because I noticed that a lot of the interviews that went on during Celebration, and a lot of the interviews that I see in general with people who were involved with Prince, is they say, so tell me how you met Prince, and what was it like working with Prince, and what was your biggest takeaway from Prince, and all right, cool, thank you for the information on Prince. And like, that's all they are, is just a receptacle for information about Prince. But I mean, we have to care about the people as well, right? So we can't just care about what they can get us. You know what I mean? We have to care about more than that, which is what I tried to do with my interviews. Anyway, I'll stop rambling on about that. I would love an album collection of demos Prince did for other artists, like Glam Life, Nothing Compares, Jerk Out, and other Prince. I think that would be cool. I think that would be a really cool way to kind of bring out some of the songs in his vault, because he's got demos for a lot of songs in there. So I think that would be a really cool idea, actually. Let's see. What is my least favorite 80s Prince album? Probably Controversy, just because I feel like it just wasn't, I don't know, it was all over the place. If you watch my review for that, I say the same thing, but I think it was kind of just all over the place. He should have replaced Mountains with Lover Money, in my opinion. Well, first off, DJ Gary, no, because Mountains is the best song on Parade. But he could have added Lover Money. That's the point of what I was saying, is that they could have added more. They could have done more with the album, not take stuff out. They could have done more with it, added to it. So there you go. One of my favorite songs is The Pope. Never, for some reason, got the attention it deserved. I like Pope. And it's actually just Pope. It's not The Pope. It's just Pope. So there you go. Well, Quintarius, I actually just said Stare is the perfect Prince song, and I'll do a whole video about it. What 10 Prince songs would have made my top 10 of his greatest tracks? Not going to answer that one. I'm not a big fan of, like, what's your top 10 Prince songs? What's your top 10? You know, so it's like, it's like, that stuff is not super duper important to me. I think for me, it's more, it's the music as a whole. It's Prince's body of work that is what's important. So yeah, so let's see. Yes, Tony, you do need those later albums. And I'm getting to the greatest part about where we're at right now with the reviews is that I'm about to do the Gold Experience and then Chaos and Disorder, and then we'll be out of the Warner Brother years. And then I'll actually be getting to review albums that actually a lot of you guys have not heard. That's the exciting thing. But I don't want to skip ahead. I need to do it in order. You guys know how I do. I have to do it that way. So yes, because that's the journey, is we're going from beginning to end. And we'll get there, from For You to Big City, as I like to say. So there's that. So the Lovesexy concert on YouTube is awesome. Have I seen it? What's my favorite part? I have seen it, and I think probably my favorite part is when he does Bob George on stage. I find that really, really fun. So let's see. Yes, Tony, Stare is everything, and that is the truth. And I'm glad that you heard me talk about Stare and you went out and listened to Stare, and now you're back to tell me that Stare was awesome. And yes, it is really, really awesome. When did I become a fan of Prince? Well, again, I'm a Prince friend. We don't use the term fan around here, but thank you for the question, Rena. 1990. Wait, what year was Graffiti Bridge? What year was Graffiti Bridge? It was 1990. Yeah, it was 1990. I became a Prince friend in 1990. So boom. Which performances? Let's see. I love the musicology. Yeah, musicology is amazing. It's a great album. Let's see. Rah. This thing is just constantly jumps around. So I apologize. It's going to give me a second here. Ah, there. I actually found it pretty quickly. Let's see. When I do a review of Lord's Melodrama, I have it on the list. The problem, like I had so many reviews that I wanted to have already gotten through this year. But I mean, circumstances are kind of aligning that I wasn't able to do as many album reviews that I would have wanted to do, but I'm going to jump back into those. Hopefully during the summer here, I'll be able to jump back into those. So, because I have a lot of people's albums that I really want to do. I want to do Miguel. I want to do Janelle Monáe. I still have more time to do. I have more Morris Day to do. I have 2 more Sheila E. albums, and obviously tons of Prince. And I have the Dangerous review. That's the one I'm going to try and get out next week. It's hard to sit down and do these reviews, and I'm telling you guys, I try so hard. So let's see. Who listens to Marilyn Manson? I do, actually. And I really like his new album. I think it's really good. Your interviews are so awesome. Thank you. Peace, love. I appreciate it so much. Strays of the World is a great song. Love Sexy is a great album. Let's see. Are you doing a celebration of Prince's birthday on the 7th? I wonder if it's going to be on TV. I don't think anything's going to be on TV. I'm going to a Prince party here in Tampa, and apparently I found out too, and this was actually pretty cool. I found out that there's a whole group called the Florida MPG, and I've been trying to get more information on them. So if you live in Florida and you want to see if maybe there's a chapter of the Florida MPG in your area or whatever, you should check them out. They seem very, very nice. They're going up for the memorial because a member of the Florida MPG is the one doing the mural, which I thought was actually really cool. Of course, I won't personally support the mural and the bench and all of that stuff, but I think it's really cool that somebody from my state here and from the Florida MPG actually is the one doing it. So I thought that was very, very cool. So let's see. Hey, Mr. Ant. Cool, man. You know what? I did it earlier than normal. So of course you would end up being here. Thank you so much for coming and showing up there. And I apologize. There's obviously a delay in the chat thing here. So we'll get into this. Let's see. What do I think about the song Peach? I like the song Peach. I think the song Peach is peachy. I know, I'm corny. It's okay. I wish he was here to comment on the era of Trump and to make music influenced by these fraught times. I don't know. I feel like Prince might have not made any songs about Trump. He already did a song about Trump. It was called Donald Trump Black Version. So he already did. But at the same time, he was much more involved with the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. So he was doing his thing. Like, he was definitely doing it. And I would love to see what other political things he would be doing nowadays. And boom, thank you, Michael Dean and the Prince Podcast, for joining us as well. Amazing what you guys do. And oh man, we need to do like a debrief or something still. We're gonna hook that up. Oh, we needed to do that one video too that I wanted to do with you. There's so many things to do. Everybody's super busy. I mean, if you guys aren't on the Prince Podcast, definitely go check out the Prince Podcast because they're amazing. Anyway, let's let's see. There's so many questions here. You guys are like filling me up. Let's see. Did Prince ever perform a Billy Joel? I don't think so. I never really heard him do it. I never heard of it happening, so I don't know. Did Prince and Madonna do a song together because they are good buddies? Raywin, yes, they did. They did a song together, and it was on Like a Prayer. It was on Madonna's album Like a Prayer. It was called Love Song, and it was an okay song. I ain't gonna front. It wasn't the best song, but it was cool because it was Prince, and it was Prince and Madonna together. And they apparently they co-wrote the song, and maybe that's why it wasn't as good as it could have been. I don't know. What's my favorite Gambino song? I think my favorite Gambino song is Sweatpants. And of course, everybody here knows I have a couple of other artists that I do talk about on here as well. Childish Gambino being one of them, Chris Cornell being another one. There are a lot of artists that I hold in very high esteem. Never as high as Prince. I think Prince will always be my favorite, but there are definitely some that I believe deserve just almost as much reverence as Prince does, because they all do amazing things. Childish Gambino, Chris Cornell. I like Billy Corgan a lot. MIA is really good. So is Missy Elliott. Fiona Apple. Like, these are all, like, I love these amazing creators who end up like taking something and just becoming like that one man or one woman kind of wrecking army, where like they just are like, I'm going to do it my way, and my way is amazing, and everybody loves it. And even if everybody doesn't love it, I love it. And that's what matters. So there you go. Maria Knoll, if you're up to the Black Album, then you are up with us at this point, which is really cool. That's very awesome that you are like in line with the channel. And then I keep saying that the next album is The Gold Experience, but I actually have 2 reviews I have to do before that for Prince that you might not have even known about.
Bye, Fishy.
So yes, and that was of course my son wanting a drink. So my oldest son is going to get him a drink. So there you go. This is the one where you guys, and maybe at the end I'll bring Evan on so everybody can see Evan, because it's actually been, I think, about a year since I've had Evan on the show, the channel. I guess I don't really have a show. I kind of just pop up whenever. But anyway, have I heard Chris Cornell's cover of Nothing Compares to You? Of course I did. I actually posted a little bit of it when Chris Cornell died. If you guys saw that video of me crying, which was different than the other one of me crying. I try not to come on here and cry so much, but it's been a couple of times. Just when there's certain moments where you just need to let it out. Rainbow Children, weirdest Prince album? No. I actually don't think it was very weird at all. I think it was amazing. It was operatic, and it told a story, and I actually love those types of albums. So I would say no, it was not weird at all. So that's my answer. Let's see. I love the track Prince titled Black Sweat on 30. It's on 3121 RL. And yes, you know what the most amazing thing about Black Sweat was when I was at Paisley. One of the cool things that we got to see as part of Celebration was footage of the very first Mike and a piano and a mic tour that Prince did. And one of the songs he performed on a piano was Black Sweat. And I remember listening to it and I was like, is he seriously playing this club dance song on the piano and it sounds this amazing? Like, Black Sweat sounded so good on piano. If you guys didn't get a chance to hear it, obviously, if you weren't at Celebration, you might not have, but I'm assuming that there are other recordings of his piano and mic tours out there, and he probably did it at a couple of places. So definitely, oh my gosh, you need to listen to it because it's so good. Black Sweat on piano, so good. So let's see. Well, I'm going to ignore Tony's last comment because I'm going to assume that she heard me talking about Stare and she went and listened to it and then came back to tell me how good it was. That's the way I'm going to go with that comment there. What is my favorite Childish Gambino album or song? I said Sweatpants was my favorite song. This Is America is actually very good and goes along with a really amazing video. I think it speaks to a lot of different things, but I think Sweatpants is still my favorite one just because I think it really shows Childish Gambino's flow, and it was the one that took me about 3 weeks to learn how to actually rap, because it is one of those songs where he's rapping so fast and everything is kind of just like boom, 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 and you really have to learn. You have to learn the words, and then you have to learn how to say it in the right rhyme, and then Fiskars don't make noise when they start up, just so you know, is like one of those weird things that if you just plop it right in the middle of your, very sporadic rapping and you have to stop and then if you flub it every time. Anyway, I do at least. It's fun. So, and yes, thank you, Peace Love. I know you don't actually get to make it to many of these Q&As or live streams or whatever. So I'm glad that you actually are here. So thank you for coming. And yes, I'm a little bit in a hot seat, but this is kind of what I do. I actually love doing Q&As. If anybody, I know a few people here know about what I do in my day job, and because I've had some of you visit my other YouTube channel where I do Q&As over there too, for my writing and my game design. So there you go. Let's see. I'm sure there's more here. Have I ever spoken about Prince's influence on D'Angelo? Definitely heard you mention Miguel, but not D'Angelo. Maybe I missed a previous video. No, I haven't really talked much about D'Angelo, and I think it's because I don't think D'Angelo was ever my speed. I don't think he was ever my flavor. Like when I listen to D'Angelo, it feels like he's trying to sound like Prince, whereas with Miguel, I feel like Miguel's just being himself, and then he just so happens to sound like Prince. And I think that there's two different versions. There's two different versions of. Not that D'Angelo is bad, but I feel like D'Angelo is getting the exact effect that he was trying for, as opposed to Miguel, who is, it feels like, again, I don't know these people personally, but it feels like Miguel is being authentically himself and is just emanating with me that way. So there I go. Do I believe the whole controversy concerning Michael Jackson? I think it's pretty stupid. I don't really know what controversy you're talking about, Blakely Yulzelman. I will say the controversy of Michael Jackson, I'm saving it for the other video, but if you guys know me and Michael Jackson and Morris Day, Morris, if you're watching these videos, Jelly Bean, tell Morris to call me because I got proof about Michael Jackson and his songs. Just saying. Am I excited about the Bohemian Rhapsody movie? Not that much. Actually, here's the thing. I love Queen. Sacha Baron Cohen was supposed to play Freddie Mercury. And the series of events that he told in an interview where he was talking about why he left the movie were actually very eye-opening and make me kind of less excited to see the movie, because what he said was that the band wants the movie to be about, the first part is all about them getting together and all that stuff, and then halfway through the movie Freddie Mercury's gonna die. And then Sacha Baron Cohen's like, well, what's the rest of the movie about? And the band was like, it's about the rest of the band and how they went on without him. And it's just like, but nobody cares about that. It's like, so he's like, see ya. So again, like, I don't know how much of that is true, or if they rewrote or did whatever. But there you go. So I'm not very excited about the movie just because of that. I'll probably see it whenever it comes out. I am going to try and go see Deadpool 2 this weekend, though. So there's that. What's my favorite song on Controversy? Probably Private Joy. Or either Private Joy or Jack You Off. One of the two. Yeah, one of those two. So let's see. Eloy, we need you to rap. You don't need me to rap. I can do a little bit of rapping, and actually, I don't know if you guys can notice that my hair is getting to a good length again. It's been kind of ratty for a while. Um, I can do some rapping. I do know some Childish Gambino songs. Obviously, I know Prince raps. Um, so I'm not going to do any right now. I have to feel inspired, but we'll see what happens. Um, let's see. Um, the Prince Friend show. What season are we on? I don't know. I guess we could go by years, right? Because most shows go by years. So I think we're in our third year now. So we've been doing this for about 2 years. So we'll do 3 years now. It'll be great. That's pretty awesome, actually. Let's see. Wait, what? I'm very glad to hear that Love Sexy Tour was extremely successful because people ripped that album apart, and my stepdad used to try to get me to turn against Prince and love MJ, old hater. Well, the whole thing about the Love Sexy album, and if you go back and watch my review for the Love Sexy album, the cover of him naked turned a lot of people off, especially if they're homophobes. Because a man can't be seen buying an album of another man who's naked, because that's a thing, apparently. I don't know. So, but I think that's also the problem too, is that a lot of people think that you have to like either Prince or Michael Jackson. And I like both. And I have a preference because I'm not Michael Jackson's friend. I'm I'm Prince's friend, but I don't think that you need to choose one or the other. I think that you can totally have both in your life and be happy. So there you go. Tamar and Prince were a dynamic duo. Yes, and I can't wait to get to Tamar stuff. When Tamar comes on the scene, oh my God, I wish that they could have gotten her album out. And I don't actually know why. I can't wait to do the research into why her album never came out, because it got done. Like, I've listened to the album. Why wasn't it released? It's so dumb. What music do I listen to in this time period? I assume you mean what music am I listening to right now? I've been listening to a lot of Hit and Run Phase 2, which is why we were talking about that earlier. Do I remember any detail or memory that I had while on tour at Paisley that wasn't in my review? There were a couple of things, but I think one of the main things that I wanted to do with my review of the tour is I gave a lot of information, but I really didn't want to ruin the entire experience. I didn't want you to not have to go because I said it. I wanted to give you the highlights and tell you my thoughts and what I thought of it, but I don't want you to not go, because it's actually a really great experience, and I think you should just go for yourself. So there you go. Let's see here. Jorge Torres, love the channel, been viewing since the beginning. Thank you, Jorge. I appreciate it. And if it's George, I apologize, but whenever it's with a J, I always do Jorge. Who's going to the Prince for You Symphonic Celebration for Prince? Well, I am. I'm going to it here in the Sun Dome, and it's like October, and it cost me a lot of money because I not only bought tickets for me, I bought tickets for my wife and for my two oldest kids, because I really want everybody. I want to bring the whole family, and I think that it's going to be an amazingly fun time. Am I familiar with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I am familiar with it, but have not watched any of it. So I should watch it, apparently, because the creator was a fan of Prince. That's enough reason for me. I will check it out. Let's see. Rap the Alphabet Street verse by Cat. Let me see. Hold on. Somebody's got to give me like a first line. Let me see. Hold on. Alphabet Street. Oh, okay. I got it. What is it? It's talk to me, lover. Come and tell me what you taste. Did your mama tell you life was too good to waste? Did you tell you love sexy was the glam of them all? You can hang, you can trip on it, you surely won't fall. No side effects, the feeling lasts forever. Straight up, it tastes good, it makes you feel clever. Kiss your enemies like you know you should, and then you jerk your body like a hornet pony would. And this is actually the fun part about this too, is that me and my friend Stone have been doing a whole lot of like songs that became a song based on a reference to something else, and that's an example because he mentioned Horny Pony on the Love Sexy album, and then Horny Pony actually became a song as a B-side on the Diamonds and Pearls album. So there you go. All right, that's the only rap you're getting. I'm not doing any more rapping. So there you go. No more. I said I wasn't going to do it, and then I did it anyway, so you're not going to get any more. Bah, 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 bah. Did Prince and D'Angelo have beef? I don't think so. I never really heard anything about that, so there you go. Prince is the real, D'Angelo is the real deal. Please believe D and Prince were good friends. He was very encouraging. Jesse Johnson played in D's band. Yeah, I don't have a problem with D'Angelo. When I listen to D'Angelo, he doesn't vibe with me, and that's okay. Like Miguel does. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying D'Angelo is bad or him and Prince hated each other or whatever, because honestly, his relationship with Prince doesn't have any bearing on whether I like his music or not. So there you go. How many kids do I have? Hey, I answered this one earlier. I have 3 kids. So there's that. Hey, Tony Wellen, send me a Facebook request as well. Just saying. Let me see. When is your most beautiful book review coming? That's, and you know, that one's kind of a hard one because I'm trying to figure out. I've never really done a book review before, so I'm really trying to figure out the right format for that, because I don't want to give so much away that you don't need to read the book. Kind of like the same thing. So I kind of want to touch on things and I kind of want to discuss some things, but I don't want to give so much away that like Maite calls me up and is like, hey, take that video down. People don't need to read the book because you're just telling them everything. So, you know, I definitely don't want that to happen. So we'll see. We'll see what's happening. What Prince concert would y'all like to see officially released as a live album? I would actually like that first performance of the Piano and a Mic tour. I thought that was really amazing. And technically what I want is I want that to be released as a DVD, because I've said that since Celebration. I said if they release that as a DVD, I will buy it. I will buy multiple copies and give it away to people, because I feel like everybody should watch that. It's just so good. It's just so good. Let's see. So thank you for coming also, Vicky Waiting. It's awesome that you're here. I do always like to see whenever you comment or you're here and you say things and stuff like that. So definitely thank you. And yes, it was Talk to Me, Baby. It took me a second. I took a second there because I actually went and hit play, and you guys couldn't hear it, but I hit play on the track so I could hear the first line, and then I rapped it. So I didn't rap along with it. I rapped it from memory because I know the damn song. Just saying. Let's see. When was my first Prince concert? My first and only Prince concert was in 1997, sadly. Let's see. Thank you, Melvin. I appreciate that you like the channel. Thank you. Let me see. Video of Prince talking about being asked if he was going to do bad. His first line is, "Your butt is mine. Who's going to sing that? You ain't sing that to me." Yeah, that's pretty much how that went down. Let's see, you should never compare Prince and Michael Jackson. I don't know, Cassandra. I'm a big fan of critical analysis of things. I like to compare and contrast and think about things and, think about how things, fit together, how they're different. So I like to compare lots of things. And it's not necessarily, again, to say like this one sucks and that one is dumb, but I think it's awesome to do that sort of stuff. So anyway, let's see. What does my shirt say? Oh no. My shirt today says Part-Time Gods. The God is in. And funny enough, this is actually this is a t-shirt for one of the games that I designed. If you do a search for Part-Time Gods online, you will end up finding my my company and all of that stuff, because that's one of my big games. And actually, it's on Kickstarter now. So not that I'm trying to pimp my Kickstarter out to you guys, because you guys aren't necessarily role players and whatnot, different crowd. But I definitely am very proud of my game stuff. So I end up wearing the Part-Time Gods t-shirt, and I didn't even mean to. I meant to put on a Prince one. I grabbed a purple shirt. Okay, guys. So, but yes, BB, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to do it slightly earlier this time because of that and because of my wife. So yeah. Worst Prince single choice. Oh yeah, I think you asked that earlier. I think the worst Prince single, I don't know, I Wish You Heaven, and mostly just because it's cut. Like if you listen to the long version of I Wish You Heaven, it's amazing. So like that's great. Anyway, so but like the short version, like it's a cute song, but honestly, they could have left it off and extended something else, and I think the album would have been fine without it. Let's see. Thank you. She is aware now. Yes, my rapping is wonderful. It was mostly just me. It was more talking. I didn't do all the inflections and stuff, but I do know the words, so at least. Morse is coming to Clearwater, and that's going to be really cool. I'm waiting for that to happen. I'm very excited about that. Let's see. Hey, Gisela, if you send me like a message or something privately, I can give you my mailing address. So I think you'll be okay. So let's see. Going to listen to Stare. Did you see any large crystal towers in that Paisley Park? Wondering if there's a spiritual tool, and Prince being the monk he is. Shannon, to me, I didn't see any, at least not in the sections that we were brought to. So I did not see any of those things. So, and that's basically how that works. Yes, there weren't any that I saw, but that doesn't mean that there weren't any because we didn't get to see everything. Why is there no bass in Purple Rain? Because Prince did it without a bass and with a bass, and he decided that without a bass was better. And if you take Brown Mark's interview into account, then Prince also did it to mess with Brown Mark, because Brown Mark is always kind of looking for like his part of a song. And apparently Prince loved messing with him, and he made it so that he didn't have a piece. So he didn't have a piece of that song just to mess with him. So there's that. Let's see. I did finally catch up with the chat. There's only a few now, which is good because I'm ending in 10 minutes, so that's fine. Did I think Prince cared about bearing the torch of being the face of music, and he cares more about doing music for the art itself? That's why he frequently innovates his music and collabs with others. Well, I mean, it sounds like you honestly answered your own question. Yes. I definitely think that Prince was music, and he was, I think, the bearer of what music is supposed to be. And I loved the fact that, when there was a whole bunch of, people who were getting into electronic stuff, Prince would release 2 albums at a time, and he'd say, here's some electronic stuff. You like that? Yeah, I can do that too. Here's another album of some real music, so you can listen to that as well. And so Prince was always experimenting, and he was always innovating, and he was always keeping up with the times. And I remember there was a comment in one of the videos that I did a couple of weeks ago, and they were like, somebody said, I really hope that they don't update and try to modernize Prince's songs that they get out of the vault. And my response to that is, actually hope that they do, because that's what Prince would have done. Prince would have taken those tracks, and he would have tried to see what he could borrow from today's music to add to his funk and what he's doing. That's why Hit and Run Phase 1 is so good, because it takes a lot of the electronic elements and the dubstep stuff, all of these different techno things and electronic music, and it just makes it into this whole amazing thing that then has Prince mixed in there and his funk and all that stuff, and it's just so good. So I would definitely say that I hope they do that. And if that next album from Tidal is Hit and Run Phase 3, then hopefully it will have more of that. So boom, there you go. So that's my thought on that. Speaking of edit cuts of a single that are most frustrating to me, When Doves Cry, when it ends. Yeah, I know, right? I hate that. So, random question for random artist. How have you ever explored Bjork's music? Yes, actually, I love Bjork. What's the album with Hyper Ballad on it? Crap. It has Hyper Ballad and it's got Hunter and all those songs on it. Bjork is really, really good. I actually really like a lot of Bjork. And if you listen to the track of Bjork that Timberland did the album for, I think it's called Independence. That song is so good. So good. Yes, I agree. Bjork is very good. Thank you for sharing that, because I'm going to do some Bjork later. It wasn't on the schedule for now, but definitely I plan on doing some. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it that you think that you're saying I'm awesome. Thank you. If I was introducing a person to Prince, what would be the first song I would recommend? I've actually answered this before. I would ask them what type of music they like. Because if they like rock, I might give them Endorphin Machine. But if they're into like R&B, I might give them Damn You. If they are into funk, I'd give them Stare, obviously. If they're into dance music, I might give them Black Sweat. So it depends on the song. When my daughter was wanting to get into Prince, my daughter's very much into dubstep. So I gave her Shut This Down from Hit and Run Phase 1, and she was just like, I love Prince, Daddy. I was just like, I know you do, because Prince has music for everybody. Prince is for everybody. That's the cool thing about Prince. So there you go. All right, cool. So I am going to end it there. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming to the live stream. We're at 65 people this time, which is really great. I don't think that beats our goal or whatever, but you know what, whatever, it's May. Next month will totally topple all of the stuff, but I want to thank everybody for coming out. I also want to thank everybody who has been contributing to the Patreon. I know I have like 5 people on the Patreon, which isn't that many, but the 5 people on there are really, really giving to the channel, and that is allowing me to really do some amazing things. You guys don't know this right now, but I actually bought a new light that I have here. I bought a whole brand new camera setup that I'm going to start utilizing this summer as well. And these are all things that I've been able to do. And obviously buying the tickets to go to some of these events and whatnot. I've been able to do that, partially from the YouTube, monetary system, but, the real money is not going to start rolling in there until we're much, much bigger. But the fact that you guys are all on there and you guys are helping me with the Patreon is actually a big, big deal. And you can get the link to the Patreon in any of my videos. It's in the description. So hit me up. You can give as little as like $2, or you can give, a bunch of money if you want. I mean, I'll take it because I'll be able to use it to make the channel better. But I think that it's really, really cool. So, but also don't forget to hit me up on Facebook and Twitter and all of that stuff. And Sherry says I need to bring out my son, and I did promise that. So let me get him. Evan, come here. Come here. You should hear him. I'm like, hey, come over here. And he's like, no. Come here. What? Oh, no. He's going to be shy, guys. All right. Hey.
Hey.
So it has. Hey. Say hi to my friends. Say hi. Okay, you go to mama. Exactly. Never work with kids or animals, guys. Okay, so he didn't really want to come out, but I'll try and do another video when his mom's not around, because whenever his mom's around, she's the world and I'm nothing. But whenever she goes away, I'm the world, and at that point. But yes, he is growing up to be an amazing little kid, so I'll do another video with him soon. But instead of that, though, thank you so much. May live to see the dawn. We'll see you later. Bye.